Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the RotoBaller Radio's Fantasy Football Waiver Wire series. The Waiver Wire for Week 2 of your fantasy football season, and it's an early look at the Waiver Wire. Full disclosure, recording this Sunday, September 7th, after the 4:30 game, so not included in this Waiver Wire is any action that occurs in Sunday Night Football or the Monday night game. It's an early look. Some quick reaction to the waiver wire as you get ready to set it for week 2 of your fantasy football season. A couple of injuries around the league to be mindful of. Unsure of the seriousness of them, that they did pop up on the injury report. You could get all that news at rotoballer.com on the news feed. Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts, went out. Xavier Worthy, we saw that Thursday night. That's a dislocated shoulder. Drake London with a shoulder situation. Chris Olave left the game for a little bit for the Saints. Brock Bowers, a knee injury, although early reports are they expect him to be fine. And then George Kittle left with a hamstring injury at the tight end position for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, Yahoo roster percentages are our talking points for the players I list, 50% or more available in Yahoo formats. We'll start at the quarterback position. 2 quarterbacks that caught my eye, and no, not one of them is not Daniel Jones. I need to see a lot more from Daniel Jones to believe it. But Aaron Rodgers, now of the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's just be very real about this. It was a shootout against the Jets, and he stepped up, and he's only rostered in 13% of Yahoo leagues. He's available in 87% of them. Threw the ball 30 times, 22 completions, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns. Nice matchup against the Seattle Seahawks next week. Finished with just under 34 fantasy points in a 6-point per passing touchdown format. Aaron Rodgers, 2 QB formats has to be rostered, and at this point started as bench depth right now. He could be a terrific add if you have only 1 QB on your roster. Quarterback did seem to avoid any major injuries as of this recording. Michael Penix of the Atlanta Falcons, I also wanted to mention him today. 32% rostered, 68% available, but I mentioned Michael Penix with like an asterisk, right? He's lost now. Darnell Mooney did not play. We don't know the injury status of Drake London at the time of this recording, so he may be down now his top 2 wide receivers. However, he did look good. Threw the ball 42 times. Bijan Robinson, a monster game out of catching the ball out of the backfield. Kyle Pitts was heavily involved as well. Nice to see that. 27 of 42, 298, a touch, and he ran for a touchdown. 6 carries, 21 yards, and a rushing touchdown. 26 fantasy points for the Falcons' second-year quarterback. He goes up on the road against the Minnesota Vikings in week 2. Now, at the running back position, because of the uncertainty of Jonathan Taylor, if you have Jonathan Taylor, DJ Giddens is the guy to go get. He's available in 97% of Yahoo leagues. If you want to go get him and block the Jonathan Taylor guy from having him as a handcuff, go right ahead. He ran the ball pretty well coming in for Jonathan Taylor against Miami. 12 carries, 41 yards, 4.1 fantasy points. Goes up against the Broncos. Broncos, good defense. Held on against the Texans, no doubt about. Held on this week, did the Broncos. But nonetheless, if Taylor misses times, DJ Giddens, the next guy up for the Indianapolis Colts. Speaking of next guy up, it wasn't Jerome Ford in Cleveland. It was Dylan Sampson who caught a lot of eyes. Now, I get it. Quinshon Judkins has signed. There's rumors he'll play in week 2. There's also rumors he's going to be suspended. So the reality is we don't know what's the end game with Quinshon Judkins right now. What I do know is Dylan Sampson has a skill set that reminds me of a Danny Woodhead, of a classic PPR him to death type of running back. Now, he ran 12 times for 29 yards for the Cleveland Browns against the Bengals. Now, in the passing game is where he made waves. He was targeted 8 times by Joe Flacco. He caught all 8 of those passes for 64 yards. Dylan Sampson, in a full PPR format, gave you 17.3 fantasy points against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, he's the highest rostered player on my list today. He's rostered 46% of Yahoo leagues. I have him in any league I'm in. He is rostered. He's available in 54% of leagues. And he's got a tough matchup next week at the Baltimore Ravens. That type of pass-catching ability, though, for Dylan Sampson is not going to go away even when Quinshon Judkins returns. I think Dylan Sampson maintains his role as a pass-catching back. Not very useful in a standard format. However, in a PPR format, Dylan Sampson should be rostered. And finally, for the James Conner owners, Trey Benson led the Arizona Cardinals in rushing this week in their victory. He went 8 carries for 69 yards, had a catch for 6 yards as well. Now, I get it. 52 of those 69 yards rushing were in 1 carry. Arizona said they'd get him more involved. They did. He got 9 touches, 8.5 fantasy points. He's available in 61% of Yahoo leagues, is Trey Benson. Goes up against Carolina Panthers in week 2. Now, wide receivers where we probably took the biggest hits in terms of injury, Worthy, London, the 2 big ones. 2 players to mention, and both of them played Thursday night, who now have to be considered rostered. Keenan Allen, by the way, over the 50% roster plateau, so he won't be mentioned here today. However, his teammate Quentin Johnston needs to be. 8% roster, 92% available. People wrote him off for dead. That Charger offense clicked on every way you'd want it to on Friday night. I may have said Thursday night. On Friday night, but with the Los Angeles Chargers, everything worked, including Quentin Johnston. 7 targets, 5 receptions, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, 24.9 fantasy points. Good matchup next week on the road against the Vegas Raiders. You know, if you told me, Anthony, the Chargers are going to win that division, I'd have a hard time disagreeing with you. They looked unbelievably well. Justin Herbert looked like how he did when he first came out into the league out of Oregon. So Quentin Johnston, 3 wide receivers. He may be able to make all 3 of those wide receivers viable this season for the Chargers. Next wide receiver, I cannot ignore 16 targets, and that's what Hollywood Brown had on Friday night for the Chiefs. Rashee Rice suspended, Xavier Worthy, the shoulder injury. Juju Smith-Schuster, I know, had 5 catches for 55 yards, maybe deeper format you want him. But Hollywood Brown is available in 75% of Yahoo leagues. 10 catches, 99 yards, 19.9 PPR points, 16 targets you can't ignore. Now, tough matchup for the Chiefs. They have a very real chance of going 0-2 on the season as they go up against the Philadelphia Eagles in week 2. Hollywood Brown, I would assume, and I think it's a safe assumption, will be, along with Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes' go-to pass catchers in that matchup against the Eagles. Now, tight end, if you're worried about Bowers and Kittle, 2 players to mention. One, the veteran, second one, a youngster. Juwan Johnson of the Saints, targeted 11 times, more targets than any other tight end in week 1. He's available in 99% of leagues. 8 catches, 76 yards, 15.6 fantasy points. Top fantasy scorer at the tight end position in week 1 was Juwan Johnson at the time of the recording. Goes up against the 49ers. Listen, that Saints offense is going to struggle, no doubt about it. But if they got to check down to Juwan Johnson all day, sign me up. And second, this one was interesting. Nobody saw this one coming. Cleveland, Harold Fannin Jr., right? Outperformed David Njoku. Cleveland liked him. Came from like a small college, but he terrific skill set. Unsure of how it would develop at the NFL level. Well, it did, and it developed pretty quickly for Joe Flacco. 9 targets, 7 catches, 63 yards, 13.6 fantasy points. Again, Cleveland, tough matchup on the road against Baltimore in week 2. But I'm not necessarily adding either tight end, but if I'm worried about Bowers' status for week 2 or Kittle's, these may be your best 2 options to add off of the waiver wire. So to recap, my top ads for week 2 of the fantasy football season: quarterbacks Aaron Rodgers and Michael Penix, running backs DJ Giddens, Dylan Sampson, and Trey Benson, wide receivers Quentin Johnston and Hollywood Brown, and tight ends Juwan Johnson and Harold Fannin Jr. As always, everybody, thank you for watching. Go to RotoBaller.com, sign up for the NFL Premium Pass, use the promo code ACES, and save at checkout. Like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel. Give me a follow on X at @Aniano Fantasy. And if anything breaks Sunday or Monday night after I've recorded this, hit me up on that X account, and I will update where they go on the waiver wire. Also can comment on YouTube in the comment section. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good luck the rest of the way. Good luck week 2. And we'll see you next time right here on RotoBaller Radio.